Okay, hi everyone. Thank you so much for joining us on Lumens TapShare TS20 Wireless Presentation System webinar. We're very excited to share with you some information about our product that we've had for over 6 months now. And so some of you may already have this product or may want some more information about it, or some of you are trying to get some new information about it. And we thank you for joining our webinar. This webinar is being recorded, and we should be able to share that with you after the meeting. So I'd like to now introduce you to Lumen's Northeast Sales Manager, Mr. Eddie Boyette.
Hello, everybody, and thanks again for joining us. Like Helen said, I am the Northeast Sales Manager for Lumens. My contact information is here on the screen. I'm going to shut the video off now so we can go ahead and start the discussion or the actual information about our TapShare. If you have any questions during the event, please don't hesitate to ask or chime in, send a chat message, or simply email me afterwards if necessary. We also, for the parties that are on the call now, on the webinar now, we will be doing a drawing at the end of the presentation to receive a free TapShare. And if you are the winner, you will be notified via email. So good luck to everyone. So I'm going to go over just an overview of the TapShare, give you some key features, some scenario diagrams, and the applications where we see and have been successful in using this product. So our wireless presentation system is called the TapShare TS20. It comes with the TapShare receiver or the box, and also is shipped with 2 TapShare pods or transmitters. And you will hear me use those pod and transmitter interchangeably throughout the presentation. The receiver has HDMI, RJ45, and USB. It operates on the an 802.11 AC network and supports up to 5G signals. It's also PoE and is shipped with a power supply as well. Our TapShare pods are our transmitters, which connect wirelessly to the receiver, can display via HDMI. They can display via mini display port or USB. They are powered either via USB or PoE using the RJ45 port. The TS20, the TapShare system, is very easy to install. It's plug and play. There are no software or drivers that have to be downloaded. What that means is some of our competitors, you have to download software, you have to download an app, you have to download a driver before you can use the system. Simply plug in our pod or our transmitter into your computer and you'll be able to access our system screen. Then which you can be able to get into the system settings for this particular product. So very easy to install, and it is plug and play. It's also very easy to use. It is a one-tap share button. You don't have to hit the button multiple times to share your screen. You simply have to be connected to your device, whether it be your computer, whether it be a mobile device, a document camera, a video camera, and it is a one-tap share. So the TS20 will share up to 4 screens at one time, or 4 pods on a split screen scenario, all simultaneous. So you can get 4 different video outputs to be shown at one time using the TapShare system. If you'll notice, you can also be able to use this with interactive flat panels. So this makes it very easy to display information and then be able to even highlight or draw attention to other content while using the TapShare with an interactive panel, interactive projector, things of that nature. Also a very easy to manage system. Can be the host can control the system via the user interface from our web GUI, as well as from the pods. It is an encrypted wireless transmission, so we do have that built in also into the system as well, if you have questions about that. So right now, our TapShare system works via USB, HDMI, Apple AirPlay, 4K. We have Android, and we support Android devices as well. So we're basically compatible with any type of display device on the market. So kind of the meat of this presentation talks about some of the different scenarios that you can use our TapShare with. If you'll notice, on this particular diagram, there are 3 different TapShare pods connected to one TapShare box or receiver. Keep in mind, the TapShare receiver can support up to 64 pods at one time. Again, that's 64 different pods at one time can be supported by the TapShare box or receiver. Again, it will display a four different pods at one time, or 4 different screens from one time. So taking a look at this diagram, you'll notice that the computer there, the laptop, is connected via HDMI to that pod, and which is obviously connected wirelessly to the TapShare box. The 2 Apple devices or the Android devices there are connected via Lightning or micro USB cable to our box, and being able to then connect directly to the TapShare box as well. I'm sorry, the TapShare receiver. And then down the last one, the device is using the display port from the TapShare pod. So again, multiple different ways to connect to our pod, which then connects to the receiver. The receiver would be connected to your panel, to your projector via HDMI. Something to keep in mind is we give these different video outputs because many of our competitors allow you only to use USB. So we have other scenarios that you can use and connect, not just USB. So here is another diagram where the pods are connected to a PoE switch, providing power to the pods. And again, different ways to connect the devices to the pods. And then obviously the pods are talking directly to the TapShare box via their connectivity. Okay, and the box, again, the TapShare box is connected via HDMI. A great feature that our TS20 receiver has is the ability to display one iPad or iPhone basically at one time. So basically the iPad or the iPhone is replacing the TapShare pod or the transmitter. It is becoming the transmitter or the pod. So you can connect directly to the receiver with your your Apple product, your product, and then be able then to display it because the receiver would be connected directly to the TV or the panel or the projector. So the iPad or iPhone is acting just like one of our pods or transmitters, which is a very cool feature for us. So here's some scenarios. Basically, what you would be using, maybe some of the distances from the boxes, from pod to box that you might be experiencing in some of the rooms. We give you applications for a huddle room, for a meeting room or conference room, and then maybe a large boardroom. And you'll notice the last line talks about pod quantity. Remember, 64 pods can be connected to our receiver at one time. It comes shipped with the receiver, the cables, and 2 pods in one box. Extra pods are sold separately. If you need more information about that, please don't hesitate to contact me. So this is basically what a huddle room scenario would look like. It's a very small area where you would be using maybe usually 2 to 4 different pods. You're connecting your receiver directly to the panel. This is a schematic drawing of what the huddle room space would look like. Obviously, the pods that are connected to the laptops, to the computers, and again, the pods connected to the receiver, which is connected to the TV. This is a conference room or a meeting room. I like to call it a conference room. You may have 4, 8, maybe 6. 4 to 6, maybe 8 different pods being used at one time in a particular room like this, but the same type of scenario where it's connected to your device or your laptop, and then being displayed wirelessly to the receiver through HDMI. Again, another schematic drawing here, very similar to the huddle space, but it shows how the depth of product that the TapShare is. Last application I'll talk about is the boardroom. So this would be a little bit different type of scenario because you got multiple different pods being used at one time. The host would have control over this. I want to show the schematic of this and show exactly the number of pods, again, that can be used and be able to show exactly, which person would be using it at one time. So again, 4 different people can show their computer, their device at one time. The host would then be able to control letting another person in while kicking someone off. Again, if you have questions about that, we can get those answered for you. Okay, let's go over the packaging. Again, the TapShare comes with 1 receiver and 2 transmitters or pods. The cables come with it as well. Additional pods are sold separately. We do include a basic installation guide or manual for the TapShare, and we offer a downloadable user manual from our support page on our website, mylumens.com, www.mylumens.com. The TapShare comes with a 5-year warranty. We also offer professional development on the product, which means basically if you purchase a TapShare system, somebody from Lumens can do a professional development program with you via webinar, a video conference, in person, multiple ways to be able to do that. We also have video tutorials on YouTube. Our products are made in Taiwan, and right now we don't have any tariff issues because of that. This is a contact map for the Lumens sales managers. I'm located in the Northeast. We have a Southeast representative, Mr. Ted Philhart, who I believe is on the call today as well. Mr. Michael Olmedo, based out of Houston, Texas. Mr. Steve Dupay, who is based out of Utah, but covers the entire West Coast for us. And then our US office is in Fremont, California. Here's some basic information that you might want to check us out at. We have obviously our website. Here's a link directly to the TapShare. And please follow us on all of the social media, all of our social media accounts, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn. We're there everywhere. Please check back. We do have specials and also different types of programs that we do on a weekly and monthly basis. So it's a great way to learn more about Lumens and about our company and about our products. Okay, this time I'll turn it over for questions and answers. If anybody has questions and answers, please don't hesitate to ask. And I believe you guys may have audio control. If not, let me know.
Yeah, so one of the questions is USB power required 1 amp?
Paul, can you answer that for us? Oh yeah, I can hear you now, Paul.
Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, so to answer the question, yes, you will need USB or PoE power.
And does it require 1 amp, Paul?
Minimum 1 amp, yes.
Minimum 1 amp. Okay, thank you. Other questions?
Yeah, so we have one question. An Android phone will work just like an iPhone. The Android phone will need a simple app.
Good stuff.
And another question we have is, can you share more about 4 users who could share screens at the same time? Is it going to be 4 different pods or just 1 pod?
It's 4 different pods that can be displayed at one time. So 4 individuals with 4 different, with each one of them with a different pod connected to their device. So if one person has a laptop, one person has an Android device, one person has an iPad, and one person has an iPhone. All 4 of those can be shown at one time in a split screen scenario.
Okay. We have another question. What is the max amount of pods that can be connected and how is this managed?
The max amount of pods that be connected is 64. Typically the host is who manages these pods. The host of the session is who manages this. And this is done through our through the system, through the landing page of the TapShare system.
And another comment we have is it will stream 4K video without any issues.
Good stuff. One other thing I did not mention, Lumens, the manufacturer, we also do a try before you buy scenario with our TapShare as well as the rest of our camera lines. So if you want to, if you are a reseller on our call right now, or if you're an end user on our call right now, if you would like to try this product before you purchase it, we will allow you to, try it for 30 days free. You can use it in your system that you have or in your boardroom, your conference room. At the end of that 30 days, you can ship it back to us or you can choose to purchase it. So that's a great, another great part of our program that we do at Lumens is try before you buy. A couple more questions here on the chat. Do I need to use a power adapter to use the transmitter with a laptop? That seems silly. No, there is no power adapter that you use with the transmitter with a laptop. I hope that answers your question.
And then we have another question. If this pod is wirelessly connected to the receiver, and are you connecting an iOS device, iPhone or iPad, from a conference room table with no PoE power to the pod, how does the pod get power?
The pod has to have connectivity via USB or PoE to have power. So you can, for example, when I use this system sometimes, I connect it to a USB power brick that powers it perfectly if I'm connecting it to my phone or to my iPad. So that's how I connect it at times, is I use a USB power brick. Obviously, you can also power it, obviously off your computer as well. But it has to have USB or PoE connectivity, the pod does, to get power.
Like a power adapter is the comment, Eddie?
I'm not sure what they're asking, a power adapter. Sometimes if you're charging your cell phone wirelessly, you use a USB power brick, or a power adapter like this person is asking, then yes, that's what the pod has to be connected to. The video port for the pod is not going to give it power. It has to have power from somewhere else. It's a two cable solution. Thank you all for the questions. Do we have any more questions at this time? Oh, good. What is the distinction between rooms? Paul, can you talk to that a little bit, please?
Yeah, so if you have multiple systems going on, what you're going to do essentially is each base will link with a pod. So once the pod has been synced to the base, it will not cross to another base. So if you have two rooms side by side, you have 4 pods in one room, 4 pods in the other. As long as you sync the pod to the base, you should be completely fine per room. You're not going to get any disturbance.
Thanks, Paul. Can you add this eventually to a battery-powered Ladybug? Right now, it will actually already work with our Ladybug document cameras. So, for example, if you're using our DC-193, obviously the DC-193 document camera is powered on via its power cord. It can be connected HDMI into the actual into our pod, the TS20 pod, and then be able to show the video wirelessly to a panel or to a projector, whatever you're connected to. So yes, this can it's already being used in boardrooms, classrooms, as well as conference rooms already with our document cameras. We need a remote Ladybug without cables for science projects. All right, good to know. Good to know. We will make that happen. So cell phones and iPads can connect to the pod wirelessly and share screens. Cell phones, iPads and iPods and iPhones can connect directly to the receiver. They don't connect to the pod. They connect to the receiver. They act as a pod. And only one of those at a time can be shown and connected.
So we have another question. How well does the pod play back video from a laptop to the display? What is the FPS?
I'll let Paul speak to that.
So barring any interference essentially in your Wi-Fi signal, it should be a standard 60 frames. But again, it just depends on the situation. Sometimes you might get a drop here or there, but it's essentially going to be a direct link. So it's whatever you're showing on your computer is going to be beamed to the TV. You might see a slight delay because it is wireless, but past that, whatever you're showing, it's set to mirror.
Do we have any more questions? Okay, great. Thank you all so much for joining our web. Oh, one more. We have one more. Yes, go ahead. Will it work seamlessly through a Crestron DMPS? We will need to get back to you on that. We'll have to check. Thank you. That's a great question.
Dana, if that's from Dana, if you'll send me an email, I will be glad to answer that for you offline. Sure.
Great. Thank you all so much for joining us today. And we look forward to having you join us on future webinars as well. Thank you. Bye-bye.